Hello, my name is Shannon. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Meditative Yin practice. So with this practice, I will be giving options for the usage of props before each pose, and you can choose whether you want to use the props or no props at all. Sometimes I use props, certain days I don't feel like I need them. It just all depends on the day. So I definitely encourage you to just listen to your body, and maybe you didn't use a prop yesterday, but you need one today, and it's okay. It's all about just doing what feels good. So we'll hold the poses anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. And once I give the options for the props, I will be very quiet so we can get that meditative stillness and just focus on our breath and just enjoy having some quiet time. So we're going to start today in a wide-legged child's pose. Now with this wide-legged child's pose, our big toes together, our knees are out, and our arms are coming forward. Now you could also use a bolster or a pillow if you'd like, turning your head to the side. And if you do that, I will let us know when we're about halfway through the pose, so then you could turn your head the other way. So let's go ahead and settle in. Completely relaxing our body, starting to notice our breath. Now, if your head was turned to the side, you could turn it the other way. We're about halfway through the pose. Let's, excuse me, very slowly walk our way up, bringing our knees together, maybe placing your hands on your thighs and taking a few breaths here. After each pose, we pause and take a few breaths. So our next pose is Anahata, which is the name for our heart chakra. This is a heart opening pose, also known as puppy dog pose. So our hips are over our knees, and we're walking our arms forward, letting our chest and our forehead sink towards the ground. Now you can keep your elbows up, or if you have any pain, discomfort, or tingling, you can bend your elbows and let your forearms rest down. You could also bring your forearms in and rest your forehead on your hand, or you could even bring a folded blanket or a bolster on your chest if that feels good. So you could be like this. So you decide which position feels right to you, and really just settle in and relax and breathe. And if you're trying it with your elbows up at any time, you can put your elbows down if you have any discomfort. So we're really letting our chest sink. So our heart is sinking towards the mat. Let's very slowly walk our way back. Once again, having a seat on our knees, taking a little pause, really relaxing our shoulders. So our next, our next pose will be Sphinx pose. So we're going to come all the way down on our bellies. And for this pose, we were just working on extension in our thoracic spine. Now we're working on getting this extension in our lumbar spine. So last pose, we were letting our chest sink. This one, we're letting our stomach sink down. Now, if you have any discomfort in your back, you can move your elbows a little bit forward. You could also put a bolster or a pillow kind of across your chest here under your arms. But we want to be reaching our chest forward and making sure we're not slouching down. So our shoulders are away from our ears, our legs are relaxed, and really letting that belly soften down to feel that nice healthy extension in our lumbar spine. Now let's slowly lower all the way down, turning our head to the side, relaxing and breathing. And then we'll gently press our way up into tabletop. So let's kind of just move our hips any way that feels good, noticing how your low back feels. And our next pose is going to be swan pose, also known as pigeon pose in yang yoga. So we're going to start with bringing our right knee forward. So our knee is coming towards our right hand, our foot is coming towards our left hand. Now you can have a 90-degree bend in your knees, or you can bend your knee a little bit less. For me, 90 degrees usually doesn't feel very comfortable, so I tend to bend it a little less. And with this pose, you can stay on your hands like this. You could also come on your forearms, or you could stack your arms with your forehead on your arms, or you could have your forehead on the mat. Now, your left hip may be coming off the mat, which is okay. You can have the front of your pelvis in the air, or if you wanted to fold a blanket or a pillow and put it under your left pelvis, you could do that as well. Now let's take our time, slowly coming up, bringing our right leg back into tabletop. Now let's take our time, slowly coming up, bringing our right leg back into tabletop. Taking our little pause here in neutral, you can drop your head. And then maybe moving your hips a little right and left. So our next pose is going to be half saddle. So we'll come on our bottoms. So with pigeon, our right hip was an external rotation. With this half saddle, it's going to be an internal rotation. So your knee is bent with your foot near your hip. And your left leg can be either straight, or you can have your foot flat with your knee up, or you could let your knee fall out with your foot coming towards your right knee. Now we're going to be going backwards here. I like to use a bolster. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Today I'm going to. You could also use blocks behind your scapulas and your head, or you could come back without anything. You could also stay on your hands, or you could come on your forearms. Whatever feels the most comfortable to you where there's no pain, because we are getting extension in our back. That is part of this pose, getting this extension in your lumbar spine. Now, as you come down, your right knee may come up, so you can adjust your foot a little bit. It's okay if your knee is in the air as long as there's no pain. You could also put some support under your knee. Your arms can be by your side, or I like to open my arms up because this is also sort of a chest opening position with the bolster behind under my back. Now you can either stay on your back, unwinding your legs, placing your feet flat, or you could press up with your arms to get your feet flat with your knees up. Let's pause here and take a few breaths. And then maybe move your knees a little bit right and left. And we're going to make our way back into tabletop. So just turning right where you are, so you're facing the other edge of the mat. Let's move our hips a little bit, and we will go into that swan pose with our left leg forward. So once I bring Once again, bringing your left knee towards your left hand. Foot is towards your right hand. This side may feel differently, so you may have more or less of a bend in your knee. And you can stay up on your hands, or come on your forearms, or come all the way down. Now we'll very slowly press our way up, gently returning our left leg back to come into our tabletop. Pausing here, letting our head relax down. Maybe moving your hips a little right and left. And then we will make our way into our half saddle, this time with our left leg in our hip and internal rotation. So our foot is near our left hip, and you can have that right leg straight, bent with your foot up, with your foot flat, or your foot coming towards your knee with your right knee coming out. And I'm going to use my bolster again. Feel free to use your bolster, pillow, blocks, or nothing as you make your way back. And as I said before, we're getting quite the stretch on our left quad muscle, so it's pretty normal for the knee to want to come up, and that's okay as long as there's no pain. But you can always adjust a little bit or put some support under your knee. you can either press your way up to unwind or slowly unwind, staying on your back, bringing your feet flat with your knees up, taking our little pause. And let's do a few windshield wipers with our knees. Now we're going to press our way up to a seated position, and our last pose before Shavasana is going to be caterpillar pose. So this is a forward fold. Now if you have any tightness in your hamstrings, you could fold up a blanket under your knees or even put your pillow or your bolster there. You could also sit on a folded blanket. You could have your bolster on your legs and come down like this. You could also have blocks on your knees for your forehead. You could have blocks for your forearms, or you could use no props at all. Now our legs are going to be very relaxed, so your toes may fall out a little bit. And the other option would be you could always bring your legs out a little bit. They don't have to be right together. But we're coming down very slowly, and this is getting a stretch to the whole posterior chain of our body from the bottom of our heels all the way up our back. We want to soften down and focus on our breath. Now let's start to deepen our breath, maybe wiggling your fingers and toes. You may want to bring your legs together and do a long body stretch. And we'll make our way back to our easy seated pose. Let's place our hands on our knees, shutting our eyes, taking a few breaths here to notice how we feel. And we'll bring our hands together, bowing our heads, giving ourselves gratitude for showing up today to practice and come home to ourselves. The light in me honors the light in you, and together here now and always, we are one. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and as always, I truly appreciate you liking the video, taking the time to leave a comment, and of course subscribing to the channel. And if you have friends that like to do yoga, share the video with them. That would be great. And all these things help the channel grow. So I hope you have a beautiful day.